Is Ted Cruz the Zodiac Killer? Where exactly was he during 1968 to 1969? He says he hasn't been born yet. That sounds like something the Zodiac Killer would say. Just look at that face. If I look like that, I would have become a serial killer too. Ted Cruz is the Zodiac Killer. Is the U.S. his next victim? I'm Donald Trump, and I approve this message. Hey everybody. I love Alaska. Alaska is great. It's the greatest place on earth. Alaskans are my favorite people. They're the best people. Clearly the best people. You guys are so hardworking, but your guys' jobs are being taken every day by the Russians. My solution? Let's build a wall. Clearly, a wall. That way my good friend Sarah, that wonderful person by the way, she's so hardworking, she don't have to see them from her house no more. Where am I going to get the funding for such a project, you ask? Simple. We're just going to make the Russians pay for it, because God knows we are in so much debt already. And trust me when I say that, because I know about being broke. I'm the king of being broke. I've been bankrupt 4 times already. I'm also the king of not being bankrupt. And if I can save my business, I can save this country. And this country needs saving, especially from the next generation. Well, let me tell you, the next generation is screwed. People say things about me like, I'm great, I'm amazing, I'm fantastic, I'm the greatest person they've ever met. I'm just all around great, they say. And a lot of my proposals are the greatest things people have ever heard. They say these things, and yeah, they're absolutely right. Always right. I speak for the people of this country, and what the people of this amazing country want. It's a great country, by the way. What the people of this country want is me, Trump.
Good evening, America. I'm Emma, and today I'm here with Republican frontrunner Donald Trump. Donald, it's really great to have you here with us today. How are you doing?
Oh, I'm great. I'm the greatest.
All right. That's really great. But tonight we're going to ask you a few questions on how you think you'll do as president.
Well, I already know I'm going to win, so.
Okay. First question, how do your ideas set with the founding fathers?
Well, my ideas, they're the greatest ideas. These ideas go back to the beginning of ideas. These ideas are set in stone. These are solid ideas. These ideas are going to make this country great again.
All right. Do you think any modern problems we face today are at all similar to those our founders faced at the Continental Congress?
These problems, they never change. That's why we need a person like me in office. I can fix these problems. These problems go back to the beginning of time, that we have the same problems all along. China, they built a giant wall. Clearly, not a big enough wall. I'm going to make it better because I'm Donald Trump. I make everything better.
That's great. What do you think will be the most challenging presidential role for you to fit?
Presidential role, it's going to be hard not to be godlike. That's probably the hardest part about being president is I'm pretty much like a god and people are going to worship me like a god. And it's going to be hard to remember that I'm just like every other American. Simple dude.
All right. How would you use Congress to accomplish some of your goals? Do you think they'll hinder or help you?
Congress is going to work with me because they know I'm the greatest president to have sat in that office. They're going to work with me. We're going to get things done. Congress and me are going to agree on everything. That's how I work. I'm a businessman. I know how to make people agree.
All right. What congressional body do you think would prevent cabinet or Supreme Court appointments the most?
I don't think any of the congressional bodies are really going to do it. I know my body's going to work well with the other 2 bodies. I got a great body, by the way. Have you looked at it? I know. We're going to do well as president. I think we're going to do way better than my competitor, Ted Cruz. That's why he's not going to win.
Hey, do you think your acts that you want to take legal under the Constitution?
All my acts are legal under the Constitution. If they're not, we're going to change the Constitution and make them legal. Because clearly it's the best things that people have ever heard of. I've got massive support. Massive support. You know, Ted Cruz is saying that I don't have the greatest ideas. Well, he's wrong. My ideas are the greatest.
Okay. Do you think the Supreme Court has allowed too much or not enough restriction on presidential power?
Supreme Court, I think they've got it right. But when I get into the office, there's going to be a bit more power because I know what I'm doing. And I know how to use the power provided. Unlike the previous presidents, and unlike my competitor Ted Cruz, who's clearly just incapable of running anything.
Okay, let's move on to some more political questions. Oh, it seems Senator Ted Cruz has joined us.
I heard what you said about me.
Howdy.
Okay, well, I want to ask, what are your thoughts on gay marriage? The new, it's now legalized in all states. What do you think about that?
Hey, you know, I think people should be happy. Happy people are happy people, but I just want them to stay away from me. I don't need that. That's why we're building a wall.
Well, obviously you have thoughts on building a wall for immigration. Considering that your wife and your competitor Ted Cruz are actually live in this country now where they lived in other countries, how do you feel about that?
Hey, once an American citizen, you're an American citizen. You're good by me. We don't want to stop these fine people from being American citizens. We want to make it easier, but we need to stop people from coming in illegally. So that's why we got to build a wall. We're going to build this wall. They're going to make it easier for these people to become citizens. I think it's too hard for people to be citizens, and that's why we got people running through our country.
All right. Well, what do you? How do you feel about? How do you feel about the whole ISIS situation and all of these?
You know, ISIS is horrible, right? They're killing people every day. They're launching these attacks on our fine countries, and
They don't even base it off a sign or anything.
I think what we need to do is we just need to buff up our army and go in there and kill them all.
You can send one man with a knife.
You know, my competitor Ted is not the brightest of competitors.
Oh, how do you feel about that comment, Ted? That kind of.
When
He doesn't know how to feel about that comment. He can't think for himself. He's a puppet. I'm the man you guys want.
When were you born?
I'm old enough to be your daddy.
It was great having you today, Ted, and it's really nice to meet you.
Oh yes, nice to meet you too. Nice to meet you too.
Knife?
What's your sign? You want to be 38? Well, nice to meet you.
Nice to meet you too. I have my phone. What?
Orange face isn't racist, right?